Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the next and final clue guessing video of 2025. We are guessing about the clues for the fourth week of Vault Games, and always in all the years that Epic Games has done this event, there have only been 4 weeks of Vault Games. Things could change. Actually, in 2020, there did end up being 5, but that was kind of a mistake. I don't think it really counts. Remember, though, that you should stay with us even after the Vault events, because Epic Games is going to continue giving away free games every single week. We're going to cover them, make sure you don't miss them, so this is a great time to subscribe. Now, let's check what are the clues that Epic Games gave us this time. Here we go. Interesting. All right, did you see it? Because I can't say that I did, but that's why we called in the Epicologists. And once we launched a live stream and brought in hundreds of the Epicologists to look at those very obscure clues, well, you had ideas. We're going to start with the clue on the left over here, because I don't know about you, but I see something there. I see kind of a face, maybe with crossed out eyes, maybe with kind of a ghoulish smile and a backdrop there. You know what I mean? You know what that makes me think of? Something with a skull, something swashbuckly. Maybe it is finally time for Assassin's Creed Black Flag. But look at that guy. Look, it's not just a skull on a flag. It's that like Assassin's Creed symbol in the background. Like maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe. Yeah. Probably not. If you haven't been following this channel for a while, for like 5 years, I've been saying Assassin's Creed Black Flag is going to be free on the Epic Games. It hasn't happened yet, but there are other pirate games. There are actually quite a lot of pirate games. If it's going to be a pirate game, which one do you think it will be? I mean, it could be Pirates of the Caribbean, could be a Lego pirate game, could be Sid Meier's Pirates. It could be, all right, pause for a second. We did get a lot of people guessing that it's going to be either Skull and Bones, which is almost impossible to happen because it's quite new. Remember, it's a quadruple A game. Ubisoft has not given away a game free on the Epic Games Store for quite a few years, so I think that ship has sailed, pun very much intended. Same reason why Assassin's Creed Black Flag is probably not going to be free. Same thing goes for Sea of Thieves. It is a Microsoft game. Microsoft has, I believe, never given away one of their games on the Epic Games Store because Ubisoft and Microsoft both have their own stores where they want people to buy the games and get the traffic over there, so probably not going to happen. But what other pirate game do you think might be possible? If it's not a pirate flag, then a lot of people saw like a clock thing. Let me see if I can get to the point where people were seeing a clock. Yeah, here, actually, if you see that, like maybe that's the two hands of a clock, you know? And so we got some very interesting guesses from there, like TikTok, A Tale for Two, which is a small game, absolutely, but it is also on mobile. So far, every week, one of the games was also available on mobile, and Epic Games was then giving it away on their mobile store in parallel with the PC version in the Vault. It's a co-op game. Epic Games has given away a lot of co-op games. I'm a fan of that. This might not be the most famous one, but maybe next to a bigger game. That's a good guess. Then we got into the idea that maybe it is a clock and a skull, or either one, kind of a Schrodinger's skull clock kind of thing. Now, this doesn't really make sense because the symbol is going to be one or the other, but to kind of have like two chances, this was a very good guess. Return of the Obra Dinn does not look, if you're not familiar, does not look like a AAA game. It is not, definitely, but it is a very popular indie game with a very intriguing story that'll anyone who, I believe it has like, I don't know, like tens of thousands of overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. And there you use a compass with a skull. which, yeah, that's a really good find right there. Like, I was impressed by that. Also could be Watch Dogs Legions, which, okay, I know I said everything about Ubisoft, but both other Watch Dogs games have been free on the Epic Games Store. Legions didn't sell that great. And look, there's a skull and a clock. Coincidence? Almost certainly, but it's fun to think about it. Another interpretation of that same idea is Until Dawn, which has a skull that is kind of a, I just blanked on the name. What are those things called? The, sand dial thingy. You know what I mean. It's basically a clock, but using sand. I don't think Epic is going to be that cryptic with their clues, but it is an interesting idea. Now, then there's the possibility that if it's a clock, maybe it's a game about time travel. Deathloop is a very good guess, not because the symbol is actually on the cover anywhere, but because it is kind of about time travel. And Bethesda has not given away a game in this vault yet, this vault event. They have been giving away a lot of their games. Deathloop, we're expecting to come sooner or later. Like, it's gonna be one of the free games. Every other Bethesda game except like the single player Elder Scrolls games have basically been free on the Epic Games Store. So Deathloop is going to come. That would like make sense for the vault, actually. Might not connect with the clue very well, but there you go. Then what if it's kind of a face? Like, actually you can see a face here. If that's not the hands of a clock, then maybe it's an eye. There's another eye, big smile there. Not a skull, but a face. What about Slime Rancher 1 or 2? Well, number 1 was already free in the Epic Games Store years ago. That's how I ended up playing tens and tens of hours in it. It is a weirdly addictive game. Slime Rancher 2 might be. You have those big, like, round slimes with big smiles. And actually, when they get, like, super hungry, they get little X's in their eyes. That could be. Or what about Happy Game? I know. It was already free. But like, huh? You know what I mean? Wouldn't it be funny if for the last vault, Epic Games was like, hey, were you happy about Happy Game? No? Well, here it is again. I would find that funny, but it doesn't seem like the type of humor that Epic Games is usually using. So probably not, but I just thought I'd throw it out there. Well, let's move on to clue number 2. And right here, we see, like, we're going to come back to this. Something familiar there. But at the moment, like, people were seeing different things. And, for example, some people were seeing, I never actually got to the point where I could see it, but people were seeing a butterfly net. If a butterfly net, well, Ogu and the Secret Forest is a decent guess. It's a butterfly net on the cover. And this is a game from, I forgot to check, 2023. Not that, like, two years old. And I don't know anything about it, actually. I don't know if it's good or not, but there's a butterfly net in the cover. Also butterfly net in the cover, Hoku Life. You see a little rabbit there with the butterfly net. And what is this even? Published Teams, that's why I remember. Team 17. We have not gotten this for free in the Epic Games Store yet, but it's got to be one of the very few Team 17 games that has not been free in the Epic Games Store. So for that alone, makes sense, no matter what the clue is. Published in 2022, and it is a cozy game about creativity, and it's community sim life. Okay. Well, if that's not a butterfly net, someone saw an eye patch. Eye patch means Metal Gear Solid 5. Obviously, definitely confirmed. This would be big as a vault game, even though it's getting up there in years now. When was that published? Let's see. Initial release 2015. Yeah, getting up there in years quite a bit. 10-year anniversary, anyone? Maybe. I think even with all that, some people would still be excited to get this. I don't see an eye patch in the clue myself, I have to say. But if you do, then like we could maybe hope for a Metal Gear game. Well, but this brings us to one of the strange things about the clue this week and this specific one, because you see this right here. That is not actually the clue that we're looking at this week. That is the clue that we saw in May 15th, giving us a clue for the second Vault games, actually, the second week of Vault games. And if you look, so May 15th there, and the clue that we have this week for the fourth Vault game, it's the same symbol. Like, even with the distortion, you can tell it's exactly the same. Now, this clue ended up being this right here. Look on the right. When it was revealed, that clue showed us this. But going through the distortion, it looks like they switched the clue. Honestly, it does not look like the same clue. Ended up being this symbol, which led to Gigapocalypse. However, it means maybe there was a game that was supposed to be in the second week of Vault games, but they had to change it, and so they just kind of switched out the clue and thought that no one would notice. Now, in the end, this doesn't actually help us because it means that we've never seen what this clue for this week actually is. They just postponed it until the fourth week instead of the second. So we're still stuck with the exact same guesses, maybe a butterfly net, maybe an eye patch. Personally, I still see like a plane, like a World War I or II plane, you know, with like the double wings kind of thing. You have the head of it there, maybe a picture on the front, maybe not in the back. These are probably more like plus signs around the symbol. But if it is a plane, well, people in the chat were suggesting warplanes, World War I, Sky Aces, starting to be kind of an old game there, so less likely. Hell Let Loose has been free before in the Epic Game Store as a Christmas game actually just 6 months ago, but just for 24 hours, and there have already been a couple of repeats this Vault period. Sifu was also a Christmas game 6 months ago, and it was in the Vault this year as well. So it does happen, and there you see that plane there in the background of Hell Let Loose could be. But my favorite guess, if the symbol is a plane, which it probably isn't, it's probably something else, is once again Isonzo. World War I, there you see the plane in the background. We already got the first two games in this series, Verdun and Tannenberg, for free from the Epic Game Store. This is the third in this series, definitely the best. They really polished it. The scenery is much more beautiful. Like, I had a lot more fun with Isonzo than the previous two games in the series. So, like, that could make sense as well, and there is some historical precedent for that. But let's be completely honest, the only game that we have guessed correctly for this Vault event was Happy Game in the very first Vault. That was a great guess, kind of a shot in the dark, but it ended up being true. It means that these are very difficult to guess. Even when we see the symbol, there's a lot of possibilities. So let me know down in the comments if you think any of these guesses are accurate. Make sure you clearly say what you think the symbol is, because that's not clear, and then why you think that leads to the game that you are guessing. Someone has to be right. It might as well be you. Well, thank you very much for watching. Remember that we're going to be live streaming the reveal of the fourth and final Vault games. We will not only find out what is in the fourth Vault, but we will also immediately see what is going to be free next week as the weekly games from the Epic Games continue. Stay tuned here for all sorts of information about free games, great deals, and some pretty cool gameplay as well. Thanks for watching. See you soon.